questions about the reported birth of the royal pretender could very easily have caused a commotion. Herod was very aware of messianic pretenders and may have considered them a real threat to his power. However, in this gospel story, the symbolic message is more important than the historical. Matthew, the writer of this gospel, more than any other evangelist, is aware of the hopes of ancient Israel, and he is therefore constantly alert to any opportunity to show that Jesus has fulfilled these expectations. For example, Jesus' Sermon on the Mount is said to have taken place on a mountain simply because Matthew wants to recognize Jesus as a successor to Moses, who also proclaimed divine revelation from a mountaintop. In the story of the Magi, Matthew wants us to recognize in Jesus the new Solomon, whose reputation for wisdom was legendary. He too received a visitor from the east, the Queen of Sheba, who is said to have been breathless as she marveled at his wisdom and his wealth. This Epiphany story is therefore a celebration of the wisdom represented by Jesus in his person and in his message. It is an unpretentious wisdom because it's embodied in a child, a tiny child. But it is only the wisdom that will survive because it's from God. The Magi represent secular wisdom, and secular wisdom is validated by success through clever use of power. In this case, physical power is for controlling others. Intelligence is for outwitting them, and wealth or political power is for amassing ever more wealth and influence. This wisdom is the centerpiece of today's dominant culture. It's not always a bad thing, but neither should it be dominant. Jesus offers a radically different kind of wisdom, which declares that all forms of power must be in the service of love, and that true success should be measured in terms of who has been liberated by unselfish love from the bondage of fear and guilt, low self-esteem, and the like. Our real power is our freedom, and it's very tempting to use that freedom to dominate and control others. Jesus tells us that we should risk using freedom as he did, for loving and liberating and trusting and forgiving. In fact, and perhaps the only question asked of us at the final judgment will simply be, did you let my people go? The powerful Pharaoh was an example of secular wisdom, while the God of Exodus and Jesus represent the far more important, far more enduring wisdom of love and liberation. We need to ask ourselves whether the net result of our actions and our attitudes is to make others more stronger, happier, and confident. The wise men offer gifts to Jesus because they recognize the humble wisdom of of Jesus. What gift on Christ's birthday do we give to Jesus? What is the gift that we give and bring to Jesus?